since it's already at its operating temperature of 200 Celsius, like I said, since we're not using it, yeah, we could have it set to 0 because, at this point now, if we have a current applied to the TCD, but we're not using the TCD, it's like sitting in your car in a parking lot while the engine is running for hours. It's just you're putting strain on the motor. You're putting strain on the detector whenever we're not even using it. So yeah, thank you for reminding me. I'll go ahead and change that back to 0. So TCD, change that to 0. All right, let's see if this will save.
Yeah, you got
It changed. Okay, cool. All right, so clearly you can change that in the software. You don't have to worry about the front panel, at least just for that portion. Okay, so now that we've went over data acquisition, like I said, how to create your methods, how to open up already created methods, how to switch between, if we want to just look at the FID or TCD. Now we can go over to real-time batch. So to get a real-time batch, like I said, you click the main button, click real-time batch right here. So every time you open up a new icon under the main window, typically you should see a new tab open up down here as well. So I can switch between data acquisition, real-time batch editor. I'm gonna close out of this though. All right, let's close that. Oh well. All right, so here's the real-time batch. First thing I want to show you guys, I'm going to right-click in this area. Going to go to, nope, not that. We go to settings. So once you're in settings over here, there's two things I want to show you. The first thing is this tab right here that says data file name. So here on our batch table right here under the column that says data file, it's yellow and it says auto file name. So every time it creates a chromatogram data file, it's going to create it based off of the batch file name and the start date. Or you can input any items over here to add to that name or remove it. Or you could swap up what pops up first in the name.
listen, what the name of the name?
Yeah, sample name. Sample name's the one I'm thinking of. And sample name. Yeah, batch start date. Or the batch file name too. Yeah, so we can do it like that, where sample name, the name of the batch file, and then whenever that batch file is ran. Cool. So if you ever want to add or remove any of that information to automatically name your files, you can do it like that. Or if you just want to manually name all of your files, you just open this tab and uncheck that box. And then now you would have to manually name everything. Let's see, where's the data comment? Nope. Aha, okay. Second important thing in the settings tab is the type tab. So here, you guys can see that we have an option for line 1, option for line 2, and an option for both. So since I have line 2 only selected, that means everything over here in the batch table, exact. So that means this is only for the TCD. So if we wanted to run just FID stuff, we would have to come over here first, check the option for line 1. After you do that, you can click OK, finish up the batch table, yeah, and then everything's just for line 1 for the FID. Now, if you guys ever want to do any simultaneous running, you can do that. To do so, you would check line 1 and 2.
So the sound now different. What's the
Yes, and I'll show you. Yeah, so you would have your FID sample in the carousel right here. It will get picked up by the first auto sampler, get injected to the FID, and then you would also have your TCD gas sample over here as well. So after it does the FID,
Other sound.
yes,
The same sound. Okay.
no, that'd be completely separate. Yeah, because like I said, the flow paths for both of them do not touch each other. Yeah. So if you wanted to do so, what does it say? Analysis one, following the data acquisition settings, and then method file. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too sure what this button is, but tomorrow when we actually run samples, we'll see what it does. uh, but yeah, so going back to if you ever do want to use both detectors at the same time, just keep in mind that it doesn't pull out from the same sample vial because FID typically will use a liquid sample, TCD gas. So if you have this line 1 and 2 box checked, oh, and also too, one thing that's different from the LC or the IC and the LCMS is that in the batch table you can input in your injection volume. For GCs, most people stick with the same injection volume, and that injection volume is set in the method parameters. But if for some reason you did not want to use the injection volume that you input in into your method parameters, you can uncheck this box. So after I uncheck this box, you would also need to right click again, go to table style, and then injection volume, and pull that over there.
You put on?
Yes. So now that'll pop it.
Set the new value now.
Yes. Yeah, because like I said, over here in data acquisition, whenever I'm looking at my method for the auto sampler, injection volume is set to 1 microliters only for the front FID, and then 25 microliters only for the back to the TCD. So yeah, if you want to deviate from that, that is how you go about setting up, adding this column in, and yeah, adding the column in and unchecking that box right there. So if I check the box, will it disappear? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So going back to type under settings, so since I selected use line 1 and 2, like I said, now the software is creating a batch table for me to use both injection ports, both auto samplers, both detectors. So I'm going to switch it just to line 1 for a second. I want everybody to look at right here where it says analysis, these numbers. So I just changed it to line 1. I click OK. So now it just says 1 and 2. So go back to settings, type. Whenever I change it just to line 2, it still looks the exact same. Nothing's different. But whenever I change it to line 1 and 2, you see how there's a 1-1, 1-2. So let's see. I'm going to add. That's not what I meant. Okay. Perfect. Now this gives a better representation of what everything is. So 1-1. So the first number of the 1-1, that is essentially the first one is in reference to the first line, the first sample injection that's going through. So the second number, the -1, that means, so see how I have a number 1 right here. So that second, yeah, the second number is in reference to, is it the FID or the TCD? So 1, yes, for FID, and then this one, -2 for the TCD. And then here, like I said, it thinks that I'm running the same sample vial for both, but of course that's not the case. It's gas for TCD. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that, and if you know you're performing, okay, so A, if your instrument, so if all of your temperature parameters and all of your flow rate parameters are the exact same for the two, then you can do it this way. But like I mentioned earlier, my GC specialist said to keep the packed column temperature for the PCD between 40 to 60. Yeah, 40 to 60. Yes. Like I said, I've got that written down here. So average 40 to 60 Celsius. So that's why typically you won't run both analysis types at the same time. It's because those temperature settings are way, way different than each other. But still, if you guys are able to develop a method to where both of them get the same temperature, and yeah, and the chromatograms are good, then by all means do it. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. I'm gonna go and turn that back off. Don't want it. So you'll have to every time, whenever you go to create a batch table, before you start your batch run and everything, just double check the settings option just to make sure that the type is selected to the correct line number, just so you're not accidentally running an FID sample on the TCD. Yeah.
So on the right side, you usually switch it to get in. And then you can use your this step, swing right there. Do the same. When I switch for line 1 to line 2. Or no.
No, because line 1 and line 2 is in reference to yeah, the auto sampler, because typically you'll just have one injection port, one auto sampler, and for the GC, yeah. And then technically you could add more than one detector at that point, so you can inject one sample to go to two separate detectors. But since we have two separate auto samplers and two completely separate clear paths, that's why line one and line 2 are more important. Okay. All right. So that is just a rundown of how to switch between what you want your batch table to run on: FID for the front auto sampler, TCD for the back. All right. So now, how do y'all prefer to create batch tables? Do y'all use the wizard or y'all create them manually?
Manually.
Okay. So we're going to go over how to manually create a batch table. This is
Can we break?
Yes, because I need to use the restroom. Whenever I start talking, I kind of forget.
That's fine.
Yeah, I forget I'm a human. I need to drink and restrooms and stuff. And like I said, once everybody is brain dead for the day, we can end. So whenever everybody is just ready to be done, we can.
I might be getting close.
Okay, I get it. It's a lot of information at once. That's why I like to spread it in between a few days. Just because what you may not have for the day or what you may not have a question about the day. Or maybe have a question. And again, too, we finished the training. Everybody already knows that. If there's any questions or concerns, y'all can reach out to me. Well, us, this is the internet. I need to remotely log in and control your functions of something. Yeah.
It is fresh.